I have been a huge fan of kitchen sink stamps, multi-step layering stamps for years, and I'm thrilled to be part of this video hop and giveaway and to share them with you. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and I'm going to share 3 cards I made with the multi-layered stamps from Kitchen Sink Stamps. This video hop is also a giveaway open to American and Canadian residents, and there is a Rafflecopter link in my description box where you can enter to possibly win a $25 gift certificate to Kitchen Sink Stamps. My first card features the multi-step Coffee and Friends set from Kitchen Sink Stamps to make a non-romantic Valentine for a good friend who loves lattes. So I'm going to put this up a little closer. I'm hoping you can see the coffee cup and the latte in the coffee cup are very realistic looking because of the layering on these stamps. I used a heart die cut for the background, and on the inside I have sending a latte love. The 2 sets that I use from Kitchen Sink Stamps are the multi-step Coffee and Friends set and the matching Coffee Mate Greetings set, which is not a layering set, but it has all sorts of really neat words for when you want to make some coffee or tea, or sending a spoonful of love or a cup of joy. So lots of really neat sentiments on there. In every kitchen sink set you get a separate sheet that is a colored index sheet that shows the different layers for each stamp. So the cup, you can see this is the index page, and it shows that you have 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A, and then in the coffee part of it you have 1B, 2B, 3B, and 4B. So it's really easy to see. You take the stamps and you start with 1A with a lighter color and then so on. And that's what I've done. They also have a alignment guide in each set that helps you to see where do you want to align the steps up. Now I'm going to show you that on the set, the card that I'm going to make, but that's a very helpful tool as well. And then on their blog they have color recipes that you can print off, and I will always do that. I have a link in the description box to where these color recipes are, so you can easily find them for whatever stamp set that you might choose to buy or have in your stash already. And I have done this in blues, and what I wanted to show you was, even if you don't own 4 different blue inks, so a medium, a very light, a light, a medium, and a darker, even if you just have 2, I created this coffee cup out of just 2 inks. So if you start with the first one, and for layer 1, and then layer 2 you stamp twice, so you double stamp, and then you have a slightly darker shade, and then you can use the next one, and then on layer 4 you can double stamp that one. Or you can start with one of these and stamp off on a piece of scratch paper and then stamp it, and that will be a lighter version, and then stamp the second layer with that ink. And again, you can stretch your inks, so look at the inks that you have, and you should be able to use any of these. Now if you have the Memento Dewdrop inks, most of the color recipes that Maria shares with us are using the Memento inks. So if you have them or get them, you'll be all set. You just need to follow the steps that she has shared here, and would make it very easy for you. My second card features the multi-step Little Lamb stamp set, and again it has 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, so the layering is very easy. Isn't that lamb so realistic? I am no good at coloring or shading, but I love these kitchen sink stamps because the variations in the colors are so easy to do, and you end up with a very realistic looking lamb or coffee cup or rose or whatever you might be doing. Another suggestion that I have is Hero Arts has sets of mini cubes of inks in 4 different shades of the same color. So you would get 4 different blues, for example, in all the different shades from light to dark, and they're all sold together, and I have a link to that in my description box as well. Now, one of my all-time favorite kitchen sink stamp sets is this beautiful Hearts and Roses stamp set. You can see it's been lovingly used many, many times. You get a large rose, a medium-sized rose, and then a rosebud and some hearts and a lot of words. And that is the set that I used to create this card that I'm going to be making with you in this video. I was inspired by a card that I pinned recently to create the front of this card, and I have a link to that card in my description box. So I have created a heart pattern using a Cat Scrappiness wonky stitched heart die from this set, and I traced it on the front of the card, and then I cut it out. So there's a heart there, and then I have then stenciled with this stencil from A Colorful Life called Heart Flakes. So I stenciled on the front through the whole thing, and then when you open it up, you have this blank heart shape here that you can sign or write a loving message to the person that you're giving it to. So again, I have a link to that original card in my description box. I also have links there to a very good video by Jennifer McGuire with tips on how to layer kitchen sink stamps using the colored index sheet, and several videos I've done previously using these awesome stamps. So this is the suggested stamp alignment guide for the roses, and it shows step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4, and it gives you hints as to how to line up the roses, so it's very, very helpful. I'm going to be using 4 colors of Catherine Pooler inks, which are my favorites. In the Misty, I have traced that same heart that I showed you, because I want to use that to align the stamps to know that they will be in the heart. And this one I'm just going to say love. And I did the first rose for in the already, so as to save a little time. What I do is I put the first stamp down where I want it, and then I pick it up with the Misty and apply the inks in the order from light to dark. And sometimes Maria will show how to use the darkest first and then to the light. So again, just experiment with what you have. In this case, I am going to start with the lightest Catherine Pooler ink and stamp it. Clean it off with my Gina K Tidy Towel, and then I'm going to take the second stamp. Now, I will try to keep my head out of the view, but I can tell you that I have to get very close, so I take my glasses off and get my head in there and make sure. But what you're trying to do is, in the second step anyway, it's very easy to do, so you're just basically lining up the outside edges of the 2 stamps. So this is layer 2. So now we have a very light pink and a little bit darker pink. And now we're going to do step 3 of the larger rose. And when you look at it, there's certain parts that you can line up. This little kind kind of box thing on the bottom, and also those lines on the stamps. If you look at through it, and again, I have to get my head there, guys, so I hope it's not in the way too much. I'm lining this bottom box up, and I'm also lining up some of the lines there in between the layers of the rose. Did it move? Nope, doesn't look like it. And now I'm using the Rockin' Red. And now we're using layer 4. Again, I'm looking for this little kind of rectangular shape at the bottom. And then I'm looking to line up the other lines with the other layers. Next to stick to that. And that's the darkest color. So I have the 2 roses, and I have 4 shades of pink and red for some very realistic looking roses, something I could never do without these great layering stamps. I also did the leaves that way, and I decided to cut them out. I could do some masking on the roses and stamp close to them, but I decided it would be easier to cut them out and give those roses some leaves. I put love here. I'm going to make this one a wedding card or a anniversary card. And I added some of my favorite gems from Gina Marine Designs, and our heart is on the front, and then it opens up, and on the inside I'll write a nice message. I am sure you can see why I'm such a huge fan of kitchen sink stamps, and hope my cards inspired you to give them a try. Please be sure to hop to the next stop and follow the instructions in my description box to enter the giveaway via Rafflecopter. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.